Hello everyone, my name is Pavel Dolezal. I'm a co-founder and CEO of Keboola, and I would like to welcome you to our first ever Keboola user event, Empower. And for those of you who join us from US, have a great morning. For the rest of us in EMEA, have a great and lovely afternoon. We're gonna be here for about an hour for the keynote. I have two guests here, I will introduce them. And then we're gonna go to workshops, which is like hands-on things, customer stories. That's gonna be lovely. Thanks for joining. Before we actually get to the actual program, I have a couple of numbers I would like to share with you. For us at Keboola, you data heroes are the North Star. We exist to support you and so you can unlock the value of data for your companies. We've been doing this for over 5 years, and when we started, we had a hypothesis that the modern infrastructure for data is going to follow a very similar path as the software infrastructure. So first there's going to be a lot of unbundling, a lot of tools, and then slowly as and the experts are going to be using them. And then slowly as we're going to move into more business people, there's going to be need for some bundling abstraction layer, kind of like operating system. It's going to take care of the automation of data ops. That's why we started Keboola, to automate the data ops, to function as a data operating system and allow you to do more use cases. So where are we now? Today, after Corona, actually, we are as every business, we are very hit by Corona. But after Corona, we opened up Keboola to general public. In the last 2 years, over 12,000 businesses have used Keboola. I think this is this is incredible, and thanks for that. This is what actually drives us. Every morning we get out of our beds, because we imagine what you do with that. And please, if you have use cases that you like, share them with us. Let's see more data. Every month, Keboola helps you to automate and run over 4.3 million data ops jobs. 4.3 million. It's every time you want to run some code, SQL, Python, or EBT, you want to add data, we bundle it together, run it against the infrastructure, and then take the results and warehouse them properly. All of that without human touch. That, I think, is incredible. This is the automation of data ops. Next number I would like to share with you is over 600,000 orchestration flows. 600,000 times you actually use Keboola to automate processes. And I believe this is huge. We at Keboola say that our mission is to help you to automate all of the business processes with AI. And today, Jan will share with you one of the use cases where he's been using data apps, built on Keboola, and Keboola to automate processes in the financial department. And this is incredible what you can achieve with the hyper automation. And the third number I would like to share with you today is incredible number of 239,000 hours. What does that mean? In a typical month, you have 24 hours a day, 30 days, plus minus 700 something hours a month. Every human month, Keboola runs 239,000 months in machine time. That means that we actually compress the time by over 300 times. 300 times efficiency in automation. And thanks for being with us. This is just like the growth of that is just incredible. So let's get to today. So as I said, we exist to help you to unleash the power of data across your entire ecosystem. Not only internally, but also with your vendors and your partners. And we're going to have some use cases from Rohlik, from Peter, for example, where when Corona hit, they actually had to make really tough decisions, really fast, be agile in data, and create new products and work with their vendors. It's incredible what they did. But there are more and more topics, as we go into the last 3 years, a lot of things have happened. And there are two main topics for us. The first one is how to use data to generate a profit for your company. Because that's why we exist, right? That's why we data people exist. To help our companies to make more profit, right? To unlock new revenues, to automate things that we can automate, to give insights so people can make decisions. Excuse me. And second topic, which goes throughout the whole session today, is the easiness of access. Why? Because we are not alone in that. If we are gonna be focusing only on our technical things, we're not gonna get anywhere. We need to get business people to interact with data, not only to look at them, but that's a data flow, right? We've been broadcasting data flow for years with dashboards, but we need to, come up with ways that the business people can, do something, have some thought, change something, and then give us a control flow back, decisions, which we can automatically use to run the initial systems, and that is huge. Today is gonna be done in 2 blocks. The first one is a keynote, and I have a Peter from Rohlik who built all the Rohlik data, made it into Unicorn, and second Jan Kadlecek, one of our close partners from Datalook, who actually helps us to build a whole initiative around data apps, and they're gonna share with you their things. Then we're gonna have a break, and after break we're gonna have three sessions or 3 simulations of sessions. The first one, streams, is gonna be for professionals around data. The second one is gonna be for experts, how to do things in code in Keboola, how to use it, right? And the third one is gonna be customer stories. So let's get to it, and thanks for joining us. Okay, I'm gonna start now with a little bit thinking about ecosystem we live in. As we discussed, we as a data teams, we live in order to serve our company. Our company is here to make a profit, but it doesn't exist alone. It exists within the wider macroeconomical environment. And excuse me, these environments, or that environment globally, has been really stretched to a limit in the last 3 years. There's actually specifically 3 factors I would like to talk about. The first one is the end of cheap money. For last 7-8 years, money was really cheap. It cost zero to borrow, or banks actually were giving financial investors incentives to take money. So it spurred the growth of a lot of activities which were not necessarily efficient. That has changed, and we see hyperinflation or inflationary forces in many countries, and this creates a lot of pressure on companies, and by that on us as data teams to actually help companies to generate profit. The second one is the weak economic growth. We've seen it, the growth for us as software companies and data people has been really actually tremendous during the COVID, because we helped to automate the economy within 0 to 1, right? It was a huge growth. Now it's slowing, and the general economy is slowing as well. And the third trend, which is very important, is constant supply chain pressures. It's not only war in Ukraine when Russia invaded Ukraine last year. It's also, all things around Corona and Chinese exports. The supply chain have been really stressed over the last 3 years. If you put together all of these 3 things, it changes how business operates. It also changes what we need to do as data teams. We need to be more agile. We need to come with more answers, more suggestions, and we need to actually get the whole company to work on data. And that means we need to change the way we operate. If you look at the landscape of data infrastructure today, it's huge. This is the map that Firstmark Capital have published last week, I believe. I remember when we were starting Keboola, on this map would be just 10 things. Back then, you needed just to get data into Snowflake, and then get it from Snowflake to Looker or Tableau to actually visualize one dashboard. That has changed a lot. A lot of new data sources, a lot of new use cases, a lot of new departments want to use data. And the whole right part of this diagram shows all of the AI and machine learning tools and infrastructure that didn't exist 6 years ago. And I did a count. If you count all of the tools and infrastructure in that map, I circle it light blue, there's over 50 different tools that we as data teams are using in the line of our work. 50 different tools and infrastructure. Well, you can do it, you are experts, right? But as I said, it's about the easiness of access for other departments, right? And how are we gonna make this easy so your business departments can actually self-service, not be depending every time on what we do, right? That is the hard question, name of Gale. Our approach is the automation of data ops. That's the first thing, because what it allows you, as I said, those 4.3 million jobs to run independently, not be dependent on humans. And that creates, a lot of new opportunities to do a lot of new revenue streams. Because when you don't have to rely on people to do something, you can repeat, you can take it, you can actually clone it, etc. Right? Always, second thing, we need to think about ROI, as I said, because that's how our business is run. But how to get into it? Well, first, we can package capabilities. We can create data apps, and that's a huge change. I will talk about that, in a minute. And we can take that whole stack, the integration, data warehouse, machine learning, AI, and package it into use case, which is shareable to business users, where they can interact and give us something back, right? And then we can automate, the processes. This is huge. So if we do all of that, if we focus on ROI and business people, we actually drive profitability with new use cases in the business. And by automating data ops, we cut down on cost and create new opportunities. So, as I said, the development of the data infrastructure world resembles development of the IT infrastructure. For many years after AWS, started, you see a huge explosion of tools and infrastructure. And as in that ecosystem, in our ecosystem, there are several languages which become a standard how people start, manipulating the ecosystem. In our ecosystem, data ecosystem, it is Python for machine learning, it is SQL for analytics, and more over the last 3 years, there's been a huge rise of DBT. There is a reason, and good reason for that. For us, people who are more technical, we love DBT, right? It's easy, it creates models, it's independent, beautiful. But, we talk to practitioners in the DBT community, which is now over 100,000 people, about where it actually has its limits. And, technical people love it, but, there is a consensus that if you want to take it inside your company, it's hard to operate, it's hard to put governance around it, and it's hard for normal, non-technical users. So we took a great time to look at it, and we were like, what can we do as Keboola to make this easier? How can we help, data heroes to actually operate this easier, package it into some capabilities, and distribute it within the company to normal business users? And here are 4 steps that we have done. First step, this is a technical thing inside Keboola. We have started the read-only access to data. For those of you who know Keboola, there's input mapping, out mapping, which is awesome thing if you want to package something, but it was kind of hard to work with that, using DBT. So we got rid of this hurdle, and we started to use DBT as one of the foundational layers inside the whole platform. Second thing is, because we did that, and we tied, DBT to every job, we create artifacts for every single job. If you're using machine learning, this is a huge deal. And I see some of you smiling now because I see how you actually already use it and how you like it. And this simplifies everything for feature stores, it simplifies everything for machine learning. Okay, that's for technical people. What's next? Well, before we get to business people, there's one more step. In the third step, we were actually taking a look how to run DBT transformations. And we were like, okay, how to run it? So first, we put DBT core inside Keboola. Yes, from every single transformation, every single orchestration, you can run DBT core inside Keboola seamlessly. But that's not enough. We are not here, to run everything, right? There's a lot of use cases where you need 2 more modes how to run the transformations. So we added the possibility to run DBT transformation on your own hardware. It's great, but many of you already have DBT transformations. So we added, and take a look at this slide, at this screenshot, we added a third possibility, and that's the possibility to run from Keboola, from the no-code and code environment, your transformations in your dbt cloud. You can trigger it directly from Keboola. It has all the governance, all the observability, all the jobs. Isn't that great? And as you will see, this unlocked a huge new area of cooperations. And the fourth and final step that we are doing now with dbt, we actually added dbt into no-code pipelines. So now you can use our flow builder, and you can actually use dbt inside the flow builder and just like orchestrate it in no-code. And you can use it inside the templates, which by the way is awesome, and Monica will talk about templates in the workshops, and prepackage your solutions. And this changes how companies can use dbt for normal business users. We have some more things. As I said, we are using dbt as one of our foundation layers now. And in next couple of weeks or months, we will actually show you one more no-code thing which is based on dbt. But I think we are pretty excited about this. Okay, not only us, not only we are excited about it, you seem to be excited as well. We launched the dbt in private beta, and in the last couple of months, over 171 organizations have actually started to use it. That's huge. And for many, like STRV, this has unlocked the potential of cooperation. Companies like STRV have been, full engineering. They've been using dbt for a couple of years, and the rest of the stack of 50 technologies they had to run manually. They didn't like it, but they were based on dbt. So once we actually allowed to be dbt incorporated in Keboola, they started to partner with us, and they started to actually use the full power of Keboola, and that is awesome. So this was dbt. I'm very excited about this. We've been, integrating modern stack for a year and a half now. This Keboola is not about reinventing or inventing everything ourselves. We are about creating that layer of operating system that allows you to automatically run all of those jobs and infrastructure and focus on added value 100% of your time. So being about added value, we talked about the technical aspect, data ops automation, but about the users. And here, I believe, we have seen one of the two revolutions in the last 12 months. And this one is about data apps. What has happened, think about how we work with data. We were for many years extracting data, putting it into Snowflake. Then we did insights, and analytics to take a look at it. Then we did some machine learning to automate how we are looking at it. But what we missed, if you think this cycle resembles lean cycle in software, but there's one more part, and that's the user feedback, input back into the system, and that was missing in a very packaged way. Of course, users could always say, "Oh, I don't like this," and then engineers had to go and do something with that. What has changed with the, we've seen that in the software industry with the rise of no-code platforms. It has totally changed how businesses are operating with software. What we believe, similar effect, but even bigger, because data is everywhere, empowering every business process, is going to happen now with data apps. And there's first couple of platforms like Streamlit, which was purchased by Google actually last year, that allow you to do it. And as you can see here, we are incorporating this into Keboola platform. So you, data heroes, can prepare an application, or you can take it from our marketplace from partners like Datalook, here, Jan Kadlecek, and with one click, you can distribute it to your business people. And this is, I believe, awesome. Things like personalization, things like pricing comparison, things like automation of invoices in the financial department are like this. That is totally new level of how we can operate.